Hi guys, it's Matthew here. Welcome back to another video on my channel today. And in today's video, guys, I finished up another horror franchise recently, and for this horror ranking, I'm going to be ranking all I think there's 8 Leprechaun movies, and I'm going to be ranking all 8 of them from worst to best, as a matter of fact. Sorry guys, I got something on my screen. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing here today in this video, guys. And also, quick reminder, I am new to the horror genre, so I might have some different takes than all of you Leprechaun fans, as a matter of fact. But so yeah, guys, with all that being said though, guys, those of you guys that are new to the channel, I do more than just movies and physical media related content. I also do Lego related stuff, and I play video games. I do all sorts of stuff like that here on the channel. So if you guys like to watch anything like that on YouTube, and if you want to see more like it, be sure you hit that like button as well as that red subscribe button. But most importantly, make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. But with all that out of the way, guys, enjoy the video. Let's get started here. Alright, so coming in last place at number 8, I actually don't know what the most common answer is for last place. Usually with all these different horror franchises, there's usually only one big movie that most people put in last place, but I don't know which one people usually put in last place. But for me personally, my last place pick is gonna go to Leprechaun Origins. So let me cut right to the chase, guys. This is the only movie that I did not watch all the way through, because this movie I actually thought was very boring. I was not entertained by this movie at all, like I was with all of these other movies, as a matter of fact. And this movie in particular, for some reason, it just feels like they try to retread the original Leprechaun and make it like a lot worse. Like this movie didn't look as good as all the other Leprechaun movies. They just felt like this one just felt like it was really cheap. They didn't try to put any effort into this movie, and it just felt like abysmal. And I don't know why. I don't know why this movie was even made, but easily, this is easily the worst movie in the franchise for me. I'm not a fan of the storyline in this movie. The cheapness really affects this movie, and in my opinion, it is easily the worst movie out of all of these. Up next at number 7. I'm going with Leprechaun in the Hood, the first in the Hood movie, which a lot of people put above the second one, but I'll explain why when I talk about Leprechaun Back to the Hood. So with Leprechaun in the Hood, I wasn't a fan of this one either. I'll admit though, by a mile, it's better than Leprechaun Origins though, because this movie didn't really feel like it was like super cheap, and I really think they made this movie just like they did with the other ones, as a matter of fact. And with this one in particular, I was not very entertained by this one either. It had enough redeeming value for me to get through the movie at least, but yeah, I did not understand the whole point with of these characters in this movie, and yeah, I think it's Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this movie. I think the characters in this movie are super unlikable, and the whole story in this movie just really doesn't do it for me. As a matter of fact, so it's a lot lower on the list here. Up next at number 6, we have the other Leprechaun Hood movie, which is Leprechaun Back to the Hood. So now with this movie, the reason why it is above Leprechaun to in the Hood is because I like the second half of this movie. I am not a fan of the first half of this movie the first half of this movie does the same thing that the first in the Hood movie does. But then in the second half, I feel like it got like a lot more entertaining because it had like a cool concept, a cool action premise because when the leprechaun started to appear and then the characters started to know what's going on, all the characters got involved, and I really do like the final act in this movie. I really do think the final act is really good in this movie as well. But personally, this one, I would put this one up a little higher, but unfortunately, I am not a fan of the first half of this movie because it does a lot of things. It does a lot of things worse. It does a lot of things that I did not like about the first in the Hood movie, as a matter of fact. So yeah, this one's okay. It's, in my opinion, it's better than Leprechaun. Excuse me, guys. Bless me. I do think it's better than the first in the Hood movie, and I like the final act of this movie, but the first half I do not care for. But it's an okay movie, and it's a little bit better than the first in the Hood movie, as a matter of fact. At number 5, next up on the ranking is I'm going to give it to Leprechaun Returns. So with this movie, I actually expected this movie to be a lot worse. If I didn't think that this movie was going to be worse than Leprechaun Origins, I expected this movie to automatically be number 7 on my list as the second worst Leprechaun movie. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's still not necessarily like a great movie. This is one that I would consider more of like a guilty pleasure at best, but also I think what really holds this movie back is that they didn't bring back Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun. I don't remember the guy's name that played the Leprechaun in this movie, but yeah, this movie was pretty decent for a Leprechaun movie, and I really like how it tied into Jennifer Aniston's character in the first Leprechaun, which I thought was pretty good. Because one of the girls in this movie is her character's daughter, which I thought was a great inclusion in this movie as well. But yeah, this was a good, solid follow-up. Granted that the last couple of Leprechaun movies before this one were not very good in my opinion, but yeah, overall, this movie was okay to good. it didn't really live up to the quality as the first couple of Leprechauns, but I think they this was a massive improvement over the previous movies though. Up next at number 4, a lot of you guys are probably not going to agree with this, but at number 4, I'm going to give it to Leprechaun 4 in Space. So, first off, no, I am not a fan of Jason X. Jason X was terrible. But for some reason, with this movie, I actually had some dumb fun and a lot of guilty pleasure with this one. This one was not a Jason X in my opinion, because they didn't resurrect the Leprechaun and brought him back to life as like a cyborg or like Uber Leprechaun or anything like that. That didn't happen with the Leprechaun, and that's what I didn't like about Jason X is that they turned him into a cyborg, but in this movie they kept the Leprechaun the same, which I thought was a good route to go. But then they were also able to create like a sci-fi setting that I thought was pretty cool. And I actually really liked what they did with this movie, but yes, this whole movie is ridiculous because they take the Leprechaun, because they put the Leprechaun in space with a bunch of space soldiers, and one of the male soldiers, which is the captain, was a cyborg and stuff like that. So yeah. I really liked what they did with this movie. I'll admit it's not a great movie. It's more of a guilty pleasure, and honestly, I do think that this movie is better than the other ones I put below this, as a matter of fact. But yeah, this movie was pretty funny and fun for what it was trying to do, I thought. Again, it's not the best movie in the franchise, and it's not like a great movie by any means, but it's still a good movie in my opinion. Excuse me. Up next at number 3 on the list, guys, I'm going to give it to Leprechaun 2. So now with this one, I like this movie, and I think it's a good follow-up to the first Leprechaun. But it's still not like, and I think it's a good follow-up to the first Leprechaun, but it's not the best sequel because I feel like it retreads the first one a lot in some ways. Like, I like how we get like another little origin story about the Leprechaun and where like his home is. I liked that, and I like the whole concept of him trying to get married to one of the girls and whatnot, and then her boyfriend has to come and save her from the Leprechaun. I really like that little side plot that was put in there, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I really liked that concept and what it was going for, and this is a good sequel, but what really holds this movie back is that I feel like it retreads the first movie in some ways, as a matter of fact, and this is one I probably would have put higher if it didn't retread the first one. Up next, at number 2, my runner-up is going to be the original Leprechaun. And this movie was a great original concept for some kind of like for some kind of like monster movie. Like when I watched the Leprechaun movies for my very first time, with the first three, I actually got a lot of Gremlins and Critters vibes, and I thought they did a very good job with this movie, coming up with like an original horror concept for the horror genre as a whole. As a matter of fact, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and it's really funny as well. But my number one pick, in my personal opinion, has to go to Leprechaun 3. So now, this one is my favorite out of all the Leprechaun movies. Because I feel like this movie does the comedy the best. I think the character development is the best, and I think Warwick Davis gives the best performance of the Leprechaun in this movie. I love the Vegas setting and what they went for with this movie. So yes, Leprechaun 3 is my favorite out of this franchise. And I what I really like about this movie that was new is that the main guy in this movie was getting possessed by the leprechaun, and I thought that was pretty cool, because we didn't see that in one of the previous Leprechaun movies. So I thought it was kind of cool to like see that happen in here, just to throw like an added layer and like something new to the franchise. I thought that was pretty cool, that they were able to do something like that as well. And the lady that dies when she gets like her bottom and her lips blown off, that was a really cool kill. I never acknowledge kills like that in horror movies, but in that case scenario in particular, I did acknowledge it. I did acknowledge that, because she wasn't a very nice person, and whenever you come across a jerk like that in a horror movie, it's always good to see them get their just desserts. Violence is never the answer to anything, but when it comes to movies like that, I feel like it's okay to acknowledge and be happy that a jerk gets their just desserts, as a matter of fact. And Leprechaun 3 easily comes in the first place in my ranking. So there you have it, guys. There's my ranking of all 8 Leprechaun movies. Let me know your list down below in the comment section, as a matter of fact. Be sure you hit that like button as well as that red subscribe button. Most importantly, make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. And with all that being said, guys, I'm going to go get bringing back to more videos, because more videos are on the way sooner rather than later, as a matter of fact, guys. But with all that out of the way, guys, take care, drink water, and stay safe, and I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!